Fine. And so what we'll do is that as we have folks come in today, I'm going to be going over some of the things we reviewed over the last few weeks. But then the lab today is going to be primarily focused on how do we keep and build income online. And so first we're going to step into a few things. We've been working in ChatGPT, and so I'm going to go there and start there. But today we're going to be jumping around to some of the other tools that many of you have heard about, many of you are using. But we're going to start off with something that I built, and then we're going to reverse engineer it. So this is a story. This is actually a story that was built in Gemini Storybook. Gemini is another AI tool, some of you know. And let's look at this storybook. This is a storybook that was created in a matter of 5 minutes, about two friends. Some of you guys know my son is a Broadway actor, and I built a story about him and a good friend of his. So let's take a look at this really quickly. Gemini just took a few different components where I just wanted to create a quick story, and it created this.
The bright lights of Broadway were a little scary, but not as scary as being the new kid. Christopher stood on the giant stage, his heart thumping like a drum. That's when he saw him. Another boy, about his age, with a smile that could light up the whole theater. "I'm Julius Raymond," the boy said. "You must be Christopher. Don't worry, it's fun here." The bright from that day on.
So I'm not going to take you through the whole story, but you can see this is a whole story that was written based on a prompt. So I teach you guys a lot about prompts because prompts are the instructions. I believe with anything, if it's bad data in, bad data out. I mean, 90% of people are using less than 1% of what these AI tools can do. And so what we're going to do is that we're going to be focused on today, how do you make sure that you are fully focused on learning how to talk to your large language model, okay? When I say large language model, guys, I'm talking about ChatGPT, I'm talking about Claude, I'm talking about Gemini. These are the three large language models. Now, this is a full book, and this book was written 100% in Gemini. All the images were created. This took about 5 to 10 minutes, but guess what? People always say, how do we make money with this? Now, this is a 5 to 10 minute book about a good friend of mine and his friend on Broadway, right? But if you look up here in the corner, I can literally download this book into a PDF, and then I can upload the book to Amazon and sell this as a children's book. Now, imagine that. Imagine being able to create a children's book in 5 minutes, right? Now, you can put this up on Etsy. But it's about two friends on Broadway. And you can also, now that, they've just began to allow us to be able to share Storybook, and we're going to go ahead and create one together real time. And so let's go ahead now. I'm going to step out and let's go from scratch. So if I'm going to show you how I started with this. I said, I want to create a story about two friends, age 11, both, let's expand it. That started on MJ the Musical on Broadway together. One's name is Christopher, and the other's name is JR. They became friends because they won a lot of. I mean, what did I do here? This is what happens when the engineer is kind of trying to type. They become closer as brothers, and so this is the story that I created. And then I said, hey, let's go ahead and create a storybook. So let's go through the whole process together and create a brand new one. Okay. So first thing we're going to do together, everybody, is we're going to go back to ChatGPT. We've been working in ChatGPT for the last few weeks, but I'm going to show you how to use two AIs together today, right? So today's topic and goal is about earning money online. So we're going to start with a story, and let's get creative. We're in an interesting time right now, but today let's create a story about a young woman who wants to become a TV producer. Okay, now I want to create a story, guys. I don't know a lot about TV, but I had Chat GPT, and I'm going to show you guys how I dictate. And you guys can do this in your Chat GPT. You can dictate to your Chat GPT. Dictate just means talk to. So here's what we're going to do. Hey, Chat GPT, this is Julius. I want to create a storybook in Gemini Storybook. So I want you to create the prompt that I need for this story. The story is going to be about a young lady who wants to be a TV producer as a little girl, and she grows up and she goes to Howard University. She then actually gets her degree in fine arts and film. She goes on to work at HBO and BET, and then she becomes an award-winning TV and film producer that wins an Oscar. Okay, I want you to now take that and create a prompt that I can drop into Google Gemini Storybook to create a kid's story. And so now what it's going to do is that it's going to take what I said, it's going to turn it into a prompt that we can now use. It's taking a little minute. Give it a minute. My computer's been moving a little slow. All right. All right, let's try this one more time. Hey, ChatGPT, I want you to create a story about a young lady who wants to be a TV and film producer. I want to walk through her life as a young lady all the way to college, where she went to Howard University. Then she became a TV and film producer and won an Oscar. I want this to be a kid's book for ages 10 to 12. And I want it to be illustrated and utilizing images from the 2025. Create a prompt that I can drop into Google Gemini so that we can actually show this as a storybook. All right, let's see if we got it down now. All right, so now it took what I said and created a prompt that we can run now. I'm just gonna run this like we've been doing other prompts through ChatGPT. And now it's creating the prompt that I'm gonna take over to Google Gemini, okay? So it goes over the audience, the plot. And for those of you who just joined us, today we're going through ways to make money really fast with using online tools such as ChatGPT and AI. So here it created this whole prompt. All I'm going to do is take this prompt, guys. I'm not going to modify it. It's telling me I can paste it into Gemini, and then we're going to go over to Gemini, and we're going to drop this into Storybook. Okay, Storybook is free. I just want everybody to know these are all free tools today that we're talking about, and so we're going to start a brand new conversation over here in Google Gemini, and we're going to create us a story. Here, Storybook. All right, and the Storybook is telling me to enter my prompt. I'm just pasting the prompt from that we got from over in ChatGPT, and this is how we utilize multiple large language models to build out tools. Now, this is a very simple one. Storybook is free, and so I'm going to go ahead and hit go, and let's see what type of story it comes back with. This is one of 5 ways we're going to go over today to generate income right away. Okay, so we started this exercise about 10 minutes ago. We created a prompt. It can go much faster. Then we pulled that prompt over into Storybook, and now Storybook is creating that story. Okay, and so real quick, while it's doing that, what I want you guys to do is think about ideas you have, things, kids' storybooks, I will tell you, is one of the best-selling items online. You can create an ebook where people can download it real time for kids, but you also can create stories for adults in Gemini Storybook, which is pretty incredible. You can download it. You can then make it into a PDF, and you can even go get it printed if you want to print it and put it up as an actual book. So let's let that do that. We're gonna let that. It takes a minute depending on it's creating illustrations now. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pause here. If you have questions, go ahead and put your questions in the chat, and we will make sure we get to those. We will have a Q&A at our lab as well. So here we go. We got a book, guys. We got a book in 5 minutes, 5 or 10 minutes. Okay. So let's listen to our book. Let me make sure everybody can hear audio.
Lights, camera,
Everybody hear
destiny.
that?
Destiny loved stories more than anything. When she wasn't watching movies, her eyes wide with wonder, she was creating her own worlds. With her trusty tablet, she turned her backyard into a magical kingdom, a bustling city, or a far-off galaxy. Action, she'd shout, directing her friends, Leo and Maya. They would wear silly costumes and follow her scripts, which were full of daring heroes and exciting adventures. Destiny learned that every great story needed a great team. In middle school, Destiny started the Jaguar Media Club.
So, guys, I'm not going to go through the whole story, but I'm going to click through it. This is a full storybook that has been created in the last 5 minutes. Now, I want you to know how many ideas do you guys have where, literally we can take this and it has print. It'll take it, download it into a PDF, and guys, now we have a full-blown storybook about Destiny and her journey to winning her Oscar. And what I want you to understand is these are the small things that you can create right away. And it's actually prompted me to download the PDF. But this is just one way. In the chat, is this something you guys feel like you can do? You guys can go talk to your chat GPT and create a storybook. Let me know in the chat. Is this something that is doable? And you can now go put that on Etsy. Now, you talk about printing money. Here's what I'm gonna tell you. You put that on Etsy, right? And you then, I don't know, you charge for the download, you charge $7 to $10, right? And now you go ahead and let's talk about how do we let people know it's there. You set up a free Facebook page about your storybook, right? Couldn't we talk about Destiny? Couldn't we create storybooks about Destiny as a young lady, Destiny growing up, Destiny in her whole life? What if you built a whole book series, created a free Facebook page, and just sold your book on your Facebook? Do you guys know any young ladies, parents that have little kids that would love to hear about a young lady being successful in film? Any little girls that want to learn how to make movies? So understand that it does not take a lot. I think the whole goal of the miseducation of AI is to make the idea of utilizing AI to make income simplified and not complex. And so before we jump to our next way of making money with AI, any questions? Any questions in the chat? Any questions? All right, all right. And so how do we edit the text? Great question. So let's just say you want to edit text on one of the pages or multiple pages. You talk to it. You actually prompt it to modify that area. Even if you want to upload, because I do believe that we all have our own custom ideas. And for creatives, you may want to write this out. You may want to really spend some more time. And what I would recommend is over in ChatGPT, spend more time laying out how you want the story to go. You can and do this by talking to your chat GPT. So for example, you can modify in Gemini. If you say, hey, look, I want this to read different, you can actually tell it, hey, I want to read this. I want it to sound this way. I want it to be more positive. I want it to take it through more detail. I love it when authors come into the miseducation of AI because you can utilize your detailed ideas and actually control how the story flows. Okay. As far as how the character looks, yes, you can control how the character looks at great detail. So again, in ChatGPT, you may want the character to be younger at different times. So what I would say is in your prompt over in ChatGPT, what I would do is that I would read through it, okay? And if you don't know how to control how your character looks, right? Remember, let ChatGPT help you, okay? So let's just say, hey, ChatGPT, I want to make sure that I can give specific characteristics to my character in the story. Can you give me a sample prompt or questions? Ask me questions so that I can make sure my character looks the way that I want in the storybook prompt. So instead of, I want you guys to get used to utilizing your ChatGPT as a solution provider, right? So ask it, how do I need to ask you questions? What do you need to know so that I can really lay out my character? And look what it does here. It says basic identity. What is her full name and nickname? How old is she when the story begins, right? How old is she when the story ends? Appearance. What is her skin tone, her hair texture? And so now you can actually, in ChatGPT, for my folks, you can now lay out your character and then you can tell it to reuse. Once it actually builds this out, you can tell it to reuse that character over and over again. All right. So the character looks the same or looks like they're maturing. So utilize ChatGPT to help you through that process. Okay. Great question in the chat. Great check. My ChatGPT won't record. So I have to do. No, ChatGPT doesn't record, it saves the prompt. So if you look over in the left, it saves the prompts over there so you can come back and talk to it again. But it doesn't record. It actually saves the history for you to be able to come back to. All right, so what I'm going to do now is let's go to a new. So one of the things I've been doing, I'm going to pull up a lot of people have been doing their one-on-one meetings, and we've been able to build out businesses or business ideas in a matter of 30 minutes. And I want to reverse, I'm going to show you guys a business that has been built out. And then we're going to kind of walk back through it. Okay. There's where are you at? Let me do this. I'm going to pause for questions. If you want to unmute yourself to ask some questions here in the lab, or if there's something that you specifically want to see, and then I'll go into our next example around making money online. There's a lot of federal employees that have been laid off, and they're trying to figure out what do they do next. And so this is a project that I'm working on with someone in private coaching, but we began to build out the idea. So I want to show you guys how to work through that idea.
I have a quick question.
Hello, say who you are and where you're calling from.
My name is Genevieve Nixon Weems, and I am here to learn from my amazing husband, Mr. Weems.
All right, all right.
My question is, I love the book. Could I take that story from the book, and then use it to do like one of the Sora movies? Like, can I use this story to create one of the short films?
Great question. So you can use the story and you can use the prompt. So what I mean is Sora, and those of you who don't know what Sora is a video creation AI tool where you can create real time videos and movies, right? Right now we're going to see Sora movies are looking like movies out of a movie theater. But that is a great question because you've already created the prompt over here. So we started by creating this prompt about this young lady, right? So this story, right? So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna just let's go ahead and move a little bit further forward. I'm gonna talk to it, but we'll talk about more. I have very advanced prompts. Now, Sora creates 8-second clips. So for a story like this, you would want it to create multiple clips, but we're gonna use this as a base. So I'm gonna say ChatGPT, I want to take this book and I want to translate the prompt over to Sora so I can make it a movie. What I want you to do is to break up the storyline into prompts that I can take over into Sora and have it create the movie. Also, give me what you need so that my character in Sora has the same look as my character in the book. So that's a very basic prompt, but what we're going to do is that we're going to be able to have ChatGPT prepare how you need to structure it so that it can be moved to Sora. And so, yes, the answer is yes. You can take the whole character over and let's try it again. I don't know my audio is probably because I'm on Zoom as well. So ChatGPT, I want you to create a prompt so that I can take this book over into Sora 2 to create a movie, break it up so that I can have multiple 8-second videos that have transitions, and make sure the prompts actually keep the look of my character in the process. All right, um, so now it says excellent. Now we're thinking like a producer. We're basically building an AI to film pipeline, storyboard, source, cinematic shorts, cohesive visual identity. So now what it does, Genevieve, it actually takes the book, because now you've thought through this idea of the book, and now it's going to take you through the main character definition, which you're going to reuse, right? So it's going to ask you some questions about that, insert the age, and now it's going to create what the scenes look like. Okay. And Sora is very detailed, it's very cinematic, like a producer. And so now it's going to look at the look of what the scenes need to look like. And now it's going to go through, okay, the cinematic guidance. Now, this is a very general look, because Sora can get very detailed, and we can make ChatGPT help us get better. But I have a series of prompts for people who are doing Sora that you can use in ChatGPT. So the answer is yes, and here's a little bit of what it would look like, right? Because it knows that Sora does 8-second clips. So it's going to look at transitions, mood, sunny, middle school club. She presents her short film to classmates, applause, fills the room, inspiring, soft lighting, transition. So that gives you a look at what it would look like. Did that help? Did I answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
All right. And so what we're gonna do next. So yes, so that's to be so now you look at, Genevieve, is now you have a book that you can put on Etsy. Okay. Now think about this. You have a book that you can put on Etsy and sell for $7 or $10 or whatever. You can put it up on Amazon. Then you could create a Facebook page, right, for this story about this character. And then you can make a video in Sora, a little video, a short clip, not even a marketing video, but a short. You can now create a video series that can go on YouTube about your book. So now imagine this. Let's start with, and we'll. So now we have this story called Lights, Camera, Destiny. And let's say Destiny is a little girl. We're going to create a series of books about at different points in her life, right? Because right now we know that books, online ebooks, and books for kids ages, children's books, are extremely growing phenomenon, especially ebooks and online books. But imagine this: imagine having in your a video that goes with your book. Now you have a YouTube channel about Destiny, and now you're using Sora to create videos, small short videos, because where are kids looking at TV? Kids are looking at TV on YouTube. So now you have videos about Destiny. Destiny could be talking to her audience. Destiny could be talking to kids, giving them motivations, all using AI. Destiny could have daily affirmations for little girls. So now you got this whole ecosystem around Destiny. You have a book people can buy. You have a Facebook page where Destiny can be there. You have a YouTube channel. So these are small steps that can all, and in the reality, guys, all this can be done in one day. It may not be perfect the first time, but what I tell people is that don't be afraid, just keep trying. Because literally you can have this set up in one day, and now you have this little girl, Destiny, who is a character that other little girls are looking at. She has a YouTube channel. You're creating videos in Sora in 5 minutes, posting them to the YouTube channel. You have a Facebook page where you now have, and you guys are driving me down this path. Is this helpful for you guys? I just want to make sure this is helpful for everybody. Is this giving you an idea of how you can take one small piece in ChatGPT and grow it to something bigger? So now I'm going to stay on this path, because now I'm going to show you something. Now I'm going to ask ChatGPT, I want to now create a brand around this character named Destiny. I'd like to create a YouTube channel, a Facebook page, as well as my book to sell. can you create a plan for me to in order to grow this brand so it can produce about $5,000 per month around this character? And also act as a business strategist and let me know, is this a good idea in 2025? Ask me any questions that you need to know to better refine your answers for me. And so now, guys, we're in this for about 20 minutes, but now I'm like, okay, before I waste my time trying to do all this stuff, and let me see, is this a good idea right now? So this is a fantastic direction. You're not just creating a children's story, you're building IP, intellectual property, brand centered on Destiny, a relatable, aspirational Black girl who becomes a film producer. That's powerful and highly relevant in 2025 when diverse, purpose-driven children's media continues to outperform in engagement and brand partnerships. Before I give you a full $5,000 a month Destiny brand plan, let's quickly get clarity on a few key details, right? The audience focus. Is the main audience kids 8 to 13, or parents, or teachers, or organizations? Product mix. Besides the book, do you want to include, now it's giving me ideas, right? Do you want to include brand merch, a t-shirt, journal, dolls, backpacks, or keep it digital, right? Ebooks, audiobooks, YouTube monetization. We will talk about audiobooks with Google's Notebook LM. We could create a whole audiobook for this as well. YouTube vision. Do you see the channel as a motion storybook channel, right? Because then John V. just asked, in Sora, we can create motion storybooks, right? And Storybook Gemini, we just did that. We did that already. So we have a motion storybook to show. Budget. Do you plan to self-fund the first phase or seek small investors? And would you like to reach $5,000 in 3 months, 6 months, or 12 months? Let me ask you guys, wouldn't it be nice to have 5,000 a month in the next 3 months? Off of something we built in what? We built this in the last 20 minutes, right? So now, it's going into the viability. Does this make sense to do? I think many times when I'm working with entrepreneurs, my biggest piece is helping them understand, is this the right time to do this? It's a good idea, but is this the right time? So marketing, perfect. Kids edutainment is booming. Again, post the AI content explosion. But authentic human created brands are rare. Parents are actively seeking culturally representative, value-driven characters for their children, especially in STEM, media, and creative arts. So what if Destiny is based on a real little girl? What if it's based on a child that's a child that's on Broadway? What if it's based on a real character? So now you can merge the reality and authentic nature of what you're building with AI. Pretty cool, huh, guys? So I don't want to go too far, but when I talk about building out businesses, utilizing AI and what we're doing, for those of you who are doing one-on-one coaching with me, we're building businesses because this can go along. We can build out the whole strategy. And here, I'm going to close this piece out, but this was a good look of this. So, okay, ChatGPT, what I want you to do is that I want you to package this into a single document so that I can share this with my community, the Miseducation of AI, so that they could see how we built this whole business out. I want you to highlight the prompts that we created the storybook in Gemini with. I want to then share the Sora prompts that we built the actual videos in. And then I want you to share the business plan to show them how now within 30 minutes, we've built out a full plan within the Miseducation of AI framework to get ready to launch a business that can produce $5,000 a month. So now is okay, and imagine what happens. In my private coaching, we work over 4 weeks. Okay. So now look at this. It's building out a downloadable document for what we just did. Storybook creation. Here's the prompt, the audience, the plot, the Sora generation here's a Sora video generation, right? And now here's a business strategy. Now tell me, we talk about what success looks like. Here's what success looks like. It used to be like what successful people understand is that the time between idea and execution is where success lives. What AI has done is tighten that time so that you can have more success financially, you can have more success in any idea you have, because now something that would have taken weeks, months, sometimes years, we can compress that time and get you to a place where you're making money and building something that's valuable. So we went really deep into this. It was great. Let me ask, are there any other questions? Any other questions before we wrap up? I'm going to show you guys another business that was created in our program that's actually going to be launching. But any other questions? And you can unmute if you have any other questions. But was this valuable to you guys to be able to see this real time? Because a lot of times you see, I know you guys see videos on our channel, but to be a part of what this looks like, is that valuable to you? I heard somebody say something, but Jonathan, your audio is a little off. It's real squeaky. Is it coming across squeaky to you too?
Yes, very much like a chipmunk.
Yeah, like you sound like a chipmunk, Jonathan.
It's very sped up.
Sound like Alvin. So you may have to go out and come back in. So before I wrap up, guys, I want to show you this. I want to show you now we're focused on ChatGPT because I think that's the base, but there are different tools. And I'm going to show you a business model that was built in probably about 30 minutes, but we're going to be digging into it to really launch it. Many of you know that government employees have been laid off. They've been out of work now for a little over 30 days. This is a community hub. I'm going to go all the way to the top so you guys can see the whole progression. And this was somebody who actually went into early retirement because leaving the government after 23 years. But all of her friends in her community that were still there, she realized they were going through different things. They were going through different levels of stress, health issues, just because of, imagine doing something. I put a video up the other day. It was a gentleman, and I might try to show it to you guys, but there was a gentleman that they had a gentleman walk up to get a job, and there was a box on the ground, and the hiring manager told the guy to stand in the box, and he stood in the box, and he paid him. He was a young guy. He paid him. He says, "I want you to stand in this box from 9 to 5," and he would come and pay him, and he would pay him to stand in the box. And so they showed this time lapse as this young guy, 20s, got older. He got to his 40s, and he came and stood in the box, and then he paid him. You saw the guy coming to pay him. He says, "Great job, thank you." And then the guy saw outside the box, he saw some of his friends came by with their families going on vacation, and he said, "Hey, I got to stay in the box from 9 to 5." And then it was very interesting. And then the guy got older. He started to get gray. And he came standing in the box, and the guy said, "Hey, look, I'm giving you a bigger box." And the box got bigger, and he could see the water. And he was so excited, and he gave him a 30% pay increase. And then it progressed to the guy was very old. His hair was gray. And the guy said, "Hey, sir, I think I'm going to retire now." And the guy gave him money, and the guy turned around to step outside the box. And when he stepped outside the box, the video went off. And so the whole idea is that we have all been conditioned to believe that the box is the way to live. And what I'm telling you in this age of AI, in this age of fast-paced problem solving, because that's all we're doing. AI is allowing us to solve problems faster, which gets us to income and freedom faster. But ultimately, this young lady was realizing that many of her friends who had been in the government, who were still there, were very stressed out now because her final day was a week before the government shut down, her official final day. So she wanted to build out a hub, a place where people could actually come to get mental health support, exercise, wellness, things that they could focus on. And so we took her idea and I had her go in and start laying the idea out, and we talked through it. But the first thing I had her do is let's figure out if it's viable. Please make sure when you're taking ideas through ChatGPT, have ChatGPT go do research. And so here's an example of what it looks like. And so we talked about it. It says, yes, this is absolutely an effective idea. The data points are strong. Demographic shift, Gen X and older millennials are entering their 40s or 50s, the largest segment of the workforce, but many feel alienated by youth-driven online culture. Cultural timing, post-pandemic isolation, layoffs, AI-driven job transitions are fuel demand for community-based guidance and emotional connection. The market gap. Few digital villages cater to the age with credibility and warmth. So you're entering a blue ocean territory. Incredible validation points, right? It's saying this idea, and we could do much more assessment, but here's a foundation of, and we could ask it to go get some data. We could ask ChatGPT, go get data to prove out that this is viable. So now we started going through names, and we ended up picking the name Second Act Society. We looked at the structure of the community, career reinvention, right? Some of you are doing that here in the community. Wellness and mental health, body and energy, connection and community. What tools should she build it in? And I'm working, she's talking to her AI, and I'm saying, what do you want to know that you don't know? She's like, I don't know how to build it. I asked ChatGPT how to build it. And so we went through, and then we went through revenue generation, a free community, premium memberships, partnerships. And then I said, well, what do you want to, oh, well, how will I know it'll be successful? Okay. And I said, you successful when? In 2025. I said, so let's ask it. And so I began to break this down, and this is her one-on-one session, and we went into growth strategies, and so we began to dig through this idea she had. Now, this is an idea that started at 10 minutes ago, 10 minutes before her call. Like, she literally had the idea, but we're 10 minutes into her call, and we're watching the evolution of this idea, and she's blown away. Because now we're saying, okay, well, let's have some more fun with it, and let's create a blueprint of what you should do. We even asked it if she had no money, how we could build it. And it went through a 90-day blueprint of what she should do, launch and setup, validation, all these things. And I'm not going to read through all of this, but I'm trying to show you tactics to stretch from $0. Now, she wants to invest in this, but I wanted her to see, okay, that it's possible. So we went down with branding, colors, and I want to kind of show you two things before we jump off, guys. And so it came up with colors based on market colors for the brand, not what her opinion was. We used, I gave her some prompts around the psychology of marketing today, and we came up with some ideas. And so now what we did is that we have a logo, and I asked her, we're 15 minutes into her call. I said, you want to build out the website? She says, what are you talking about? Well, we use the AI tool called lovable.dev. I said, well, what do you want on the website? Well, I wanted to do this. I wanted to look like this. I want these type of images. And so we had it build out the prompt for the website. You understand? On the call, we're about 20 minutes into the call. And then we went over to lovable.dev, which is an AI tool that builds out websites and apps. And guys, in 30 minutes, and I'm going to go to full screen. We took that prompt and we loaded it into Lovable. And here's the website that was built. Because remember, success is cutting down the time between idea and execution. So now her idea, we made come alive. She wanted to have African American women with curly hair in her. And so why the Second Act Society? Welcome. I'm Amanda. I created the Second Act Society because I know what it feels like to stand at the crossroads of what's next in midlife. After years of, she went in and shared her journey. Now imagine, guys, imagine in 30 minutes you have the foundation for something that you could build, and how much faster, how much further could you go with your ideas? And so, if nothing else, she's prepped and ready in her private coaching, which she came into private coaching because now she's like, Julius, if we could do this in 30 minutes, what could we do in 4 weeks? I have over 500 friends still in government that would love to come to this community. And so that is what we're doing today, guys. Guys, you can all build $5,000, $10,000 communities real time. It does not take a ton of time. It just takes some time to understand. The first thing, ChatGPT is where we're going to start. The other tools, we go to tools like Gemini, which is free, Google's AI tool. Claude, we didn't talk about Claude. Claude is the best writing tool, copywriter. If you want to write books or write, it does really well. That large language model, these are all free. Lovable.dev is free for your first couple of apps, and then I think it's $25 a month. But if you can make $1,000, $5,000, or $10,000, $20 a month is worth it. Okay, and so with that, guys, we have about 14 minutes left. I'm going to open it up for any questions, and then we're going to close out for the lab today. I hope this lab was valuable to you, to everybody that's looking at the replay. I hope it was valuable to you here in the community. I want you guys to understand I created the Miseducation of AI to do one thing: take your human intelligence, the years that you've worked, the years that you've built your business, the year you've worked for other people, and partner it with AI so that you can earn income and increase your value. That is it, guys. That is what you need to do. Know that you have a superpower in the years that you've learned things at your job, the years you've learned things building your business. That is the superpower. People think that AI is a superpower. No, when you partner AI with your years of experience, you create a superhero in yourself. And so that's what the Miseducation of AI is all about. So thank you guys for joining us. Let's go ahead and open up for any questions from folks that are on today.
I'd say great teaching. I really definitely enjoyed it. So I think it's with me, it's just getting hands on and just getting in there and doing it and practicing as well. Like listening is fine, but I'm more hands on. I got to get in there in order for me to know. I got to get in there. Even if I fail, I got to get in there. I got to get in there. And so that's the kind of, for me, first step here is really kind of learning that chat GPT,
Yep. And
getting
that,
that, and then transitioning to the next step and transition to the next step, but just kind of continue to get the basics. Because like I said, I'm so like new at all of this. So it's like foreign language, um, but it's a good language to learn. And so, but thanks so much for the teaching.
no, and that's what this is about. This is about, I want you guys to fail fast and adapt. I want you to you guys should be using ChatGPT every day. Download it on your phone, ask questions to it, get better at asking, go into the community and look at what I'm posting around prompts, copy and paste them in. I want you guys to just be I use ChatGPT every day, right? We did a video on how to build your own personal newsletter for yourself, things you want to know about. Um, that is what this community is about. Continuing to try. And then when you need help, go to the community, post your questions. We respond to questions. It doesn't matter your skill level, but you've spent X amount of years working, doing something. You have a lot of skills, abilities, and now you're laying AI into that. And the biggest thing I'll tell you is the people that continue to try. That is the big thing I find, is that if you take this and you continue to show up in the tool, it won't be perfect, but if you continue to learn. And so In the classroom, guys, we'll be updating some things for the classroom for you. This is a 101. What is a large language model? How to use it? There's some of you are more advanced. We're going to be talking about GPTs and agents and building AI employees. So we're going to have a whole range, but it starts with understanding how to ask the question and how to have effective conversations with your AI. That is the most powerful thing I'm going to teach you. And then I'm going to teach you how to build your own. That is a fun part too. So thank you, everybody. We will have this posted inside of the community. Some of you are asking about where to find things. And so I want to go ahead and close out with this. I'm going to share my screen and just walk you guys through the community really quickly so you know where to find what you want to see. Where do I find these replays? Where do I find all the different things that's in our school community? And so let's go ahead and go there very quickly. And let's go ahead and show you guys where you can find everything you need all the time. And so I'm excited about, we moved over to school, and we moved over to school because we wanted to have a place where all of you could easily find things. And, once you get used to it, I definitely recommend going through the first part of, you got there, did I freeze? I think I might have froze. Okay, and so going over to school, I want you guys to know that utilizing the community, downloading the app are really valuable to you. And put it on your phone so when you guys are just around and you can go in and you can learn and you can read. I posted yesterday 5 free AI certifications for you guys, right? So download the app, but if you go to Classroom, and under Classroom, you see Start Here, okay? And I want you all to complete this because this is like the foundation, right? It gets you started and set up. You introduce yourself to our community because the community is not just Julius. It is all of you. Post your questions. I will tell you, no matter how, there is no bad question, okay? Go through, and then to unlock level 2, we want you to go in and do some things. Don't be afraid to do some things. And then download the school app, and you can pin this community at the top so it shows up and it alerts you when updates come through. And then get started with, and then at the end, get started with training. The classroom is where all the training lives. If you go here, AI coaching video replays, this is where the videos are from these calls, from the labs, right? So the labs will be posted here. I'll post today's lab here, but all these labs will be posted for everybody here in the community. But come and remember, this is our community. This is about you. Your questions help somebody else. So don't be shy to ask questions. Don't be shy to want to know how things are done. We have some great members, and my goal is not to have, look, it'd be great to have 1 million people in this community. I want to help 1 million people around the world be able to merge their knowledge with AI. But I want you guys to know that we have a small group of people that we can help get new jobs, help build new businesses. I believe that is the legacy work. That's the work that I want to do. I want to be able to show people that didn't believe it was possible, that it was possible. So thank you all for being a part of this community. I appreciate you. We'll be back here next Friday, same time, for our lab. I want you guys to have an incredible day. I know some of you are out here Halloween and doing and being your character. I want everybody to be AI today. Be an AI expert today. And I want you to go out and enjoy your day. Take care. I'll see you guys back here at the lab next Friday. And also, I want to challenge you all to post your questions. I want you to all post questions. You learned a lot today. I want you to go to the community right now, and I want you to post what you learned and what you want to learn, okay? What you learned and what you still need to learn. And I want you guys to do that boldly because sometimes the blessing is in the question. All right, have a good one, guys. Take care, and we'll talk to you later.